Hi! As the title says, I'm going to be answering some of the frequently asked recovery questions I get. So just a little backstory for those of you who don't know me or don't follow me on my social media. I struggled with anorexia for several years when I was younger. I've now been recovered for 5 years. If you want to know about my whole journey, I will link down in the description box my videos about that. So today I'm going to answer 4 questions. I could talk like an hour about each of them, but I'm going to keep it kind of short. And I have blog posts about all of these topics, which are more helpful, more in-depth, a little more advice. So those will be linked in the description box down below. And before I get into answering the questions, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, just comment down below. So I have a little paper with some questions in that here. But the first one, which I get asked quite a lot, is how do you deal with your body changing? Especially when you need to gain weight. I wish I could say there was a simple answer to that you could just, wake up and suddenly love your body, but the fact is that it does take time. So for me, I had to gain about over 20 kilo, and it was a big difference in my body, of course, but the fact is that weight gain is kind of slow. So it's like, if you were to gain 20 kilo overnight, it would be a lot bigger of a difference. It would be harder to accept. But for me personally, I gained the weight slowly, kind of. So it was just like these small adjustments, small learning to accept and love my body. But it was not easy. It took a lot of time. Self-love and learning to love your body. It takes a lot of changing your mindset, thinking differently. You don't always love your body, but it's about learning to accept your body and being okay with your body. So for me personally, what helped me to begin to accept and love my body and the weight gain and how my body had changed was to focus more on living life, focusing on doing things that made me happy, such as, going out for walks, being with my dog. I loved blogging as well, taking photos, going to school, just focusing on creating a life which I liked and doing things which gave me energy and made me stop focusing on my body and how I looked. Because if you just sit at home, then yeah, you will think about your body a lot because that's all you've got. And another thing which really helped me was to actually begin exercising, to begin focusing on what my body could do, on getting stronger, being able to run, all these things which I didn't have the energy for or I didn't have the strength to do before when I was sick. So, I could walk, I could run, I could lift weights, I could carry the groceries home from the store. So just focusing on appreciating my body and that it works. That was a huge thing for learning to accept my body. So if you find a sport or exercise you enjoy and you are allowed to, physically capable of exercising, then that can help you to appreciate your body. And then, of course, changing mindset is key. So you have to begin looking in the mirror, and instead of seeing flaws and seeing everything you hate about yourself, you begin to say and think nice things about yourself. And once again, you might not love your body every day, but you accept it, you don't want to change it, or you don't talk it down to yourself. because the way you think about yourself really matters and makes a difference. If you're always being mean to yourself, then of course it's going to be hard to love yourself. And I would also say, you know, just follow inspiring and body positive people on social media. If there's anyone who you feel bad afterwards, after looking at them, and it may not be that they're unhealthy or they're doing anything wrong, it's just that the problem is inside of you. Because if you don't feel happy in your body and you just compare yourself to everyone else, then you need to unfollow them or block them or whatever to take care of yourself and your health. Because you can't change what other people post or how others look. That is one thing you need to realize as well, that people look differently and that will always be the case, but you cannot go around hating yourself because you want to look differently or because you think someone looks better or whatever, because we all look great no matter size or weight or height or whatever. So you just gotta focus on loving yourself. So yeah, how do you accept your body changing? Well, you focus on living life. You focus on doing things that make you happy, being kind to yourself, changing your mindset, and just don't follow people who make you feel bad about yourself. And it takes time. Also focus on appreciating your body for what it can do, not the way it looks. And I guess in combination with that, another frequent question I get is, how do you deal with the number on a scale going up? Once again, not really a simple answer to that. It takes time. It's about changing your focus on the number to focus on your life, on your health. So seeing the number on the scale go up, I was never super focused on the number on the scale, not in the beginning anyway. When I got sicker and I saw the number on the scale going down, and like the people around me, especially in the recovery treatment centre, they talked a lot about kind of weight and that, and so that I began to focus on it. So it was never, like for me, in the beginning I never cared about what the number was on the scale, but then the sicker I got, the more I cared about it, and suddenly I just wanted to go lower and lower and lower. And I remember then when I was in recovery, I said to myself that, you know, I'm never gonna weigh more than this number, like it's not gonna happen. And I just like told I told my care manager and all that, and then they said that, you know, that's an unhealthy weight, like you have to be higher than that. And then after a while I accepted another weight which was a little higher, which was my lowest healthy weight, which was a BMI 18.5. And I just said that that is the final, never going to weigh more than that. And then my care manager kind of agreed to that, because she said, you know, okay, it's your healthiest, lowest weight. We reached that weight and that's a good start point anyway. And I was so set on that weight, thinking I'm never gonna weigh more than that, because it's already more than I have ever weighed in the past. But I was like 15 years old and saying that I'm not gonna weigh more than this number because I've never weighed more than that before. And of course I haven't weighed more than that before because I've been like 11 years old. And the older you get, and if you know, gain muscle or you grow taller, of course you're going to weigh more. I had to dealing with that number going up. It isn't easy. It's you have to change your mindset. You have to, in combination with seeing your body change, you have to begin to accept and love your body and realize that it doesn't matter what the number says on the scale. Like, does it say X or Y? It doesn't matter. Like, nobody else knows your weight is irrelevant. Of course, the important thing is that your weight is healthy. BMI is a little outdated. I don't really, you know, BMI is kind of good for the extremes when it comes to a low weight or a high weight, but like for the healthy weight, it's like, okay, you know, it doesn't really matter if it's 23 or 20, you know, if that makes sense. Once again, it's, you know, focus on your life, focus on creating healthy habits, on creating a healthy mindset. So, you know, the more you focus on life, the less you begin to focus on the number on the scale. And of course, I recommend that you don't weigh yourself. And if you have to weigh yourself, maybe you can get someone else to look at the number just to make sure you aren't losing weight, if that is, you know, the problem, or that you are going up in weight if you need to. So, and then do it max once a week just to check. But I definitely don't recommend weighing yourself every day because the number on the scale varies so much. Like, I can say for myself that, like, when it's that time of the month, I can go up 3 kilo. And that's something I've noticed before when I did weigh myself, and I've noticed now as well when I've had to be weighed at the doctors for different reasons. But yeah, you just have to let go of the number on the scale, because that number, which was the lowest healthy BMI for me, and I said I would never weigh more than, I weigh like 8 or 9 kilo more than that now, and I feel so much better in my body. I feel stronger, healthier, I have energy. The fact is that I actually like my body a lot more now when I'm a healthier weight than I ever did when I was sick and a lower weight. So remember that a lower weight doesn't make you happier, it doesn't make you healthier, it doesn't make people like you more, it doesn't make you a better person. All it does is that you have a lower number on the scale, and if you don't feel healthy, you don't have energy, you're using restrictive habits to maintain that weight, then it's not healthy and it's not even worth it. So yeah, find your healthy set point and accept that weight. Of course, it's not easy, but it's a progress. And getting rid of the scale is number 1. Okay, and second or third is exercise in recovery and overcoming exercise addiction. I have posts about that, I will link down below. So, do I recommend exercise in recovery? No, I typically don't. But when you begin to live more life, but when you begin to have more energy and you're more physically capable and you don't have a unhealthy relationship with exercise, then maybe you can begin to focus on finding a form of exercise you enjoy, doing it maybe 1 or 2 times a week, making sure you do it because you enjoy it, and then increasing if it's still something you want to do because you enjoy it. So that is my take on it. And of course, you know, in the beginning, don't go all out. Like, you don't need to go around 10 kilometers just because you're allowed to exercise. You know, begin with walks, begin with yoga, and then if you like doing high intensity, slowly begin with that. With exercise addiction recovery, learning to rest basically. I would say you have to kind of slowly decrease the exercise you are doing and surround yourself with people so that you don't have the chance to exercise. So, you know, if you go to school, maybe sign up for an extra curricular activity which isn't exercise based. Like, if you enjoy reading, go to a book club or arts and crafts or music, or, you know, spend time with friends or family as well, especially if you're someone who exercises after you eat. If you can eat with others, that will prevent you from exercising. Of course, if you live alone or if you don't have a lot of friends or family, then it's a lot more on you that you have to force yourself to sit and rest and not exercise. And the fact is that the exercise becomes a routine, so you may not even think about it because it's just routine that you do it. But I would say you have to find other things to take up your time. So I remember when I wasn't allowed to exercise and that, I began, blogging a lot more. I did read. I also did small mini videos on the computer. Not very good, but you know, it was something to take up my time. I think I even tried learning to play guitar. And and we did arts and crafts and that at Mando, the centre I went to. You just kind of have to be honest to yourself as well. Why are you exercising? Because you know yourself why you do it. If you're doing it to compensate, or because you feel bad about eating or your body, and you have to think that, you know, this is your life, that do you want to live with anxiety and the obsession with exercising your whole life? Like for me personally, I couldn't travel anywhere. I didn't like going to the cinema because I had to sit for so long. I didn't like travelling anywhere that was longer than half an hour. It wasn't possible for me. I could barely be with friends. I didn't want to go anywhere which I had to be still for too long. I had to sit. I just lived in this bubble where living life wasn't possible because I was so controlled by my not wanting to eat, wanting, like, my kind of obsession about how I looked, or not how I looked, but you know, I didn't want my body to change, and because I wanted to exercise all the time, I could never sit down, and it was not living, it was surviving. So you have to be honest with yourself. Do you want to live this way for the rest of your life? Do you want to live a life where you can never sit, where you always have to exercise, where you can't spontaneously decide to, you know, hang out with friends after school instead of going to the gym? And that's another tip I would say, is that beginning to, you know, do other things instead of exercising. Like, if your friends say, you know, oh, do you want to follow to the cinema, or do you want to go have a picnic, and you've planned a run or something, then forget the exercise, go with your friends, because in the end those are the things you're going to remember, like the memories you have created, living life. That is, you know, what you're going to remember, not whether you ran 10 kilometers because you had anxiety or not. It takes time changing routines. It's hard to give advice on this subject. It's tough. It's a lot of anxiety involved when you have to go against that voice in your head that says you have to exercise, you know, you're worthless if you don't, you're going to gain weight, you can't eat, like all of those thoughts that may pop into your head if you don't exercise. But you have to face those, because that's the only way. Otherwise you're going to be living your life with the anxiety and the obsession your whole life. And that goes with all your fears in recovery. If you don't face them, they will be there. They will be controlling your life. And it's only you who can face them. So you have to find what works for you, what helps you to face the fears. You know, whether it's surrounding yourself with people, or, you know, going to therapy, being an inpatient, finding hobbies, or, you know, all of them basically. So yeah. Anyway, I will link down to a post, or a few posts, that have maybe a bit better advice about this subject. And before this video gets too long, I'm gonna end it here, and I will make a video talking about binge eating and like extreme hunger in recovery. I was going to answer that here, but this video would be like 40 minutes otherwise. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Know that recovery is possible, you can recover, and it is so worth it. I will see you all next week, hopefully with a new video, and go out there, face your fears, live life, create the life you want, and you can do it. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button down below.